He's the devil's incarnate. The Mexicans call him El Maligno. Far more ruthless, more wicked, and a very fast draw. He's rarely talked about because just like Jack, he's believed to be a myth too. Legend had it that only one person actually lived after the encounter with El Maligno. The fight was nothing like anyone else had ever seen. It was endless because the opponent really matched him so well that it really surprised El Maligno. His opponent frustrated him so much and was an inch close to eliminating him. But he never fights fair, so he cheated and pulled one over him. They had dropped their guns to go full-on punches. He was quite unfortunate because his opponent's strength was in hand combats.
Jack the Gunslinger.
The stranger rides into town.
The stranger rides into town. The year is 1992. But the small town of Red Rock is stuck in the 1800s. The sun beats down on the dusty main street as folks go about their daily business. Jack McCoy in his 30s, a mysterious stranger riding into town on his black stallion. Jack's got a reputation for being the fastest draw in the West. As Jack ties his horse to the hitching post, the local sheriff, Bill the Bull Jenkins in his 40s, eyes him suspiciously. "What in tarnation brings you to Red Rock, partner?" the sheriff asks, hand resting on his gun. "Just passing through, Sheriff," Jack replies, his eyes scanning the street. The sheriff nods, but his expression remains skeptical. "You're a mighty mysterious fella. What's your business?" "Looking for a place to rest my horse," said Jack.
The Buckhorn Saloon Brawl.
Jack enters the Buckhorn Saloon, where the patrons fall silent. The bartender, Sam, 50s, greets Jack with a nod. Suddenly, a group of rough-riding cowboys led by Vic the Kid LaRoche, 20s, start causing trouble. Vic's got a grudge against the sheriff and is looking for a fight. "You're looking for trouble, kid," Jack warns. "I reckon you found it." The two engage in a fierce brawl, with tables crashing, punches flying, and guns being drawn. Jack takes down Vic's gang one by one.
The bank heist.
As the dust settled, the sheriff was seen hand-siffing Vic's gang. Vic's gang was hired by the notorious outlaw Blackheart Bill Anderson, 40s. Blackheart's planning on robbing the Red Rock Bank, Jack tells the sheriff. "We gotta stop him." "How'd you figure that out, stranger?" asked the sheriff. "Having a hunch?" replied Jack. The sheriff's expression turned serious. "All right, partner, let's get to work."
The Chase.
Jack and the sheriff rode to the bank, where they confronted Blackheart and his gang. A shootout ensued and Jack took down Blackheart's men. Blackheart escaped on horseback, with Jack hot on his heels. "You're a mighty hard fella to kill, Blackheart," Jack yells.
The mine showdown.
Jack and Blackheart face off inside the mine. The air is thick with tension as the two outlaws draw their guns. Suddenly, Sarah Jones appears. "Drop your guns, both of you," she demands, her voice echoing through the mine shaft. Blackheart sneers. "You think you can take on both of us, Missy?" Sarah's eyes flash with determination. "I'm not just any Missy. I'm the daughter of the bank owner, and I've been tracking you, Blackheart, for months." "I reckon you was the one leaving them hints for me, pardner," Jack said with dawning realization. "You're darn tootin' I was. I've been dropping breadcrumbs for you to follow," replied Sarah.
The final confrontation.
The final confrontation is intense, with guns blazing and bullets flying. In the end, Jack emerges victorious, having defeated Blackheart in a showdown. Jack turns to Sarah. "Thanks for your help back there, Missy." Sarah smiles. "No problem, partner. We make a mighty fine team." The sheriff arrived at the abandoned mine and, seeing a bleeding, already dead Blackheart, nods in approval. "You two have done a fine job. Red Rock is safer thanks to you." Jack tips his hat. "It's all in a day's work, Sheriff." The sheriff walks up to Jack and says, "That story of yours about having a hunch? I don't rightly believe it, partner. Who are you, really?" Just as Jack was about to explain, they all heard a loud boom. And saw smoke coming from the direction of the bank.
Who in tarnation is Jack?
Who in tarnation is Jack? Well, Jack is the meanest, coldest, gunslinging stranger with a reputation for being the fastest draw in the West. Some say he's a lone wolf with a gun and a grudge. Others call him a rugged outlaw with a heart of gold and a fist of steel. Believed to be nothing but a myth, but very much real. Jack made it his job to help the helpless, get into trouble to save those who were in trouble. never cheated anyone, but always cheated death each time he came so close to dying. He was on the trail of Blackheart, having tracked him for the past 18 months. Till the only lead he had got murdered while he was trying to get information from him. Three weeks ago, he started getting some clues about Blackheart from a stranger who never revealed their identity. At first, he never took it seriously, since he was a lone ranger. But the moment he decided to check out one of the clues, it was pinpoint accurate. He decided to follow this mysterious clue dropper to the end of the line. And that was how he got to the Buckhorn Saloon in Sheriff's Red Buck. Armed with some information that Vic, the kid, LaRoche, was coming there to create a diversion for his boss Blackheart to loot the bank, he intervened and helped the sheriff.
Back to the present day.
As the loud bang was heard, all three mounted their horses and started riding back to the bank. By the time they got there, the bank was already on fire, and there were lots of coins scattered all over the place with fresh tire tracks. The eyewitnesses said some well-organized, more rugged gang came in to loot the bank, while the sheriff and Jack were at the minefield, and then set the bank on fire with their dynamites. Then rode off casually with no impending threat. Alas, what Jack never thought possible had finally happened. He always had a theory that there was a much bigger person pulling the strings of Blackheart who was merely a puppet. There was no proof to back up his claims, but his trigger-happy fingers believed in it seriously. Sarah was devastated by the whole event. Her father, the bank owner, put up some fight to prevent them from taking his bank, but he got shot in the heart with a golden bullet, then burnt as the bank went in flames. Sarah cried so much but quickly dried her tears and wanted revenge for her dead father. The sheriff finally spoke. He said there was only one man that shoots with a golden bullet, and he has never been heard or seen by anyone in the last 20 years. Those who managed to see his face never lived to describe him. He's the devil's incarnate. The Mexicans call him El Maligno. Far more ruthless, more wicked, and a very fast draw. He's rarely talked about because, just like Jack, he's believed to be a myth too. Legend had it that only one person actually lived after the encounter with El Maligno. The fight was nothing like anyone else had ever seen. It was endless because the opponent really matched him so well that it really surprised El Maligno. His opponent frustrated him so much and was an inch close to eliminating him. But he never fights fair, so he cheated and pulled one over him. They had dropped their guns to go full-on punches. He was quite unfortunate because his opponent's strength was in hand combats. bloodied him so much and was about to finish him off when he told him that was ready to surrender. And in a flash, picked up his gun and shot him his poisoned gold bullet. And he fell off the cliff. The shot wasn't really a clean one because the blood dripping from his eye didn't really allow him make the shot properly, so it wasn't really lethal enough to make the kill. But the poison was trying to make the finishing touches. He fell into the river, but was later saved when he surfaced on the other part of the river. Nobody knew if these things happened or not. Well, the man that survived was none other than the sheriff. But he retired that life and moved to Red Rock to have a fresh start. But now his past came knocking with a loud bang. After some weeks in the burial of Sarah's father, he garnered the courage to tell only Jack and Sarah to avoid unnecessary chaos in Red Rock. He was he who survived the poisoned golden bullet, saw El Maligno face to face and lived. But aside that day, he never told the story to anyone else. He kept that bullet. He wanted his revenge. Sarah wanted her revenge. Jack just needed some action. So the plans began. The next few months had them planning. Acquired all necessary ammunition and information to track him down, and then rode off into the sunset in search of El Maligno.